G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be covering everything that happened in today's solo cash cup, including the inflatable or the cow item being vaulted. Is it coming back? Why was it vaulted? And whether I think it should be back in the game. I also want to talk about how the parasites, in my opinion, are almost completely ruining competitive right now. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. Trust me, if you looked at social media, if you watched any of the pros playing the tournament, you would have to agree right now the parasites are completely busted. They need to go out of the game ASAP. But a bit of more positive news, I found quite possibly the most wholesome pro I have ever watched in Fortnite. I want to show you some clips from that because I guarantee it'll just make you feel better no matter how bad of a day you're having. Also, I want to finish off today's video talking about what's going on right now with Apex Legends, Warzone, and Fortnite. Why is Apex Legends pulling double, triple, quadruple the viewership of Fortnite at times, and why Warzone is just completely dying as a game? No crazy story. I didn't have like a friend introduce me. I was just brought up with it, and I guess that's why I never wanted to do anything else in my career but play games. All the way from my very first PC being Intel up until now, it has been incredibly influential because every time I get a new PC upgrade, games just run smoother, everything feels better, and you get to re-enjoy the games you already love. Especially because I play battle royales. They are incredibly intense on your CPU, and being able to have hardware that can back me up in those situations, I'm really excited to see how it performs. So if you guys weren't following it, Fortnite Status tweeted out today, the inflatable has been disabled in the competitive game modes, arena, and tournaments while we investigate an issue. We'll provide an update when it's re-enabled. Now this scared me because if it's got a bug with it, why would you only vault it out of competitive and arena? Like if it's like an invincibility, an invisibility bug, or something crazy like that, I imagine even though pubs aren't that competitive, you'd still want to get it out of them. But I'm guessing it is because of a bug, because they did say we'll provide an update when it's re-enabled, which makes me think that obviously it is coming back into competitive. And I think a lot of people are happy about that. I love the inflatable. I said it from the very start when they first added in. I think it's a super fun, super balanced item that has a really niche role in the game. It kind of gives you a bit of mobility that is fantastic if used right, but if you use it wrong, you either get yourself in a bad position or you get popped and you take fall damage. I think it's a really, really good item. On the flip side though, one of the worst things in the game right now is the parasite. Now, I don't want to be too dramatic about this. I talked about it in yesterday's video. I said if you're not abusing the parasites for today's cash cup, you will not do well. And man, it rang out even more true than what I thought it was. It was an absolute joke to watch the games today. I still had a lot of fun. I did a viewing party for all of EU and NA, but I couldn't help but just every time I watched the player go into endgame with or without a parasite, just laugh at how ridiculous it was. One example clip would be today I watched someone get gold pumped point blank 3 times in the head and not die. Once the parasite got hit for 50, second time the parasite finally got killed, and the third time hit for 180, and that player still lost the fight because they didn't have a parasite on their head. Right now this item is completely broken, and I know what you're gonna say, or just aim for body shots, but that makes no sense. Any competitive shooter that promotes you to aim for body shots, not headshots, to me is not competitive. You're rewarding bad aim. And at the same time, I know you're thinking, oh, if he didn't kill it in one shot, he must not have hit it directly. No, the parasite takes reduced damage from guns. A gold pump point blank can do 50 damage to the parasite sometimes and not even kill it. It looks like the damage is based off how many times you shoot it. For example, an AR will do 30 to 40 damage, but a pump shotgun will usually do only about 50. So you usually have to use an SMG or an AR to take the parasite off. But by the time you do that, you're already dead. Let's run that scenario, right? Some guy jumps in your box through the roof with a parasite on his head. I'm supposed to AR, hit him twice, swap to my shotgun, hit him in the head, swap back to my AR, and hit him another time before he just shoots me once in the head and maybe an AR shot. Like, let me run you through what the parasite does. It takes away 25 health. That's the only downside. Maybe it gives you a jumping effect. You might not like the jumping effect, but really some people use that as a buff. On high ground, you can just jump across high ground so easily. Let's look at the buffs. It makes you invulnerable to any amount of damage in the head. It'll block an entire sniper shot or gold pump to the head. It gives you a speed boost. It then also blocks different areas of your headshot as well. At this point, the only way they can make this thing stronger is if it gives you a damage multiplier. It is actually ridiculous how strong this parasite is at the moment, and everyone keeps asking, oh, how can we balance it? I honestly don't think you can if it's going to block headshot damage. This thing could absorb 80 of your health. It could bring you down to 20 health total and 100 shield, and I still think pros might actually use it because it has the potential to block a 200 headshot. In trios especially, if you have a full trio with these on versus a full trio without them, you can just jump into any box you want endgame and you are guaranteed to win that fight every time, unless your controller or your keyboard literally disconnects and you just stand there and wait to get shot in the head, because you have pretty much an entire headshot on top of all those opponents. It is ridiculous right now, and early and mid game it feels more frustrating. So a lot of you guys playing arena or pubs with these might not realize it's that strong, because in like a regular early and mid game fight, you can work around it. You can go for some peaks, you can knock it off, you can then jump back around. But I'm talking end game, when all you're doing is running and tarping, and if someone gets in your box, you don't normally have the time to disengage or the ability to, because so much is happening, the servers are so laggy. It is just almost impossible to beat someone. Every single time I watch someone today get in a 1v1 with the final opponent, whoever had the parasite won. 100% of the time. And I watched, what, 7 hours worth of cash cups today. It needs to go. I'm sure you guys agree if you watched any of the games. Luckily for us, we have about a 5-day break in tournaments because of the event this weekend. There is no tournaments, so I'm guessing Epic has time to either heavily nerf them or take them out. And I know you're probably thinking, Aussie, you're the one who told people to use them. I get that. I'm always going to give you guys advice. If it's in the game, it's fair play for anyone to use. I'm going to try and more readily expose these strategies, because if they are super broken, Epic will nerf them, but at least everyone gets the same chance to use them. I'd rather that than keep it to myself and only a few people use them. Let's look at the actual results of the Cash Cup, and I don't want to take it away from anyone who did really well. For example, Anas actually managed to come first, only using the parasite really in the final game, showing that he was just that much more ridiculous. So I don't really want to use this as like a, oh man, everyone had to run the parasite, otherwise you did terrible. I just think there was a lot of situations where players could have done better and potentially won games or placed way higher if they just had a parasite over their opponent. But overall, it was still a very fun tournament to watch. You had guilds and come in first on EU on 194 points, getting a 5 elim win as the final game to close out the tournament to just beat Guild Henchman, which is obviously Hen, who got an 8 elim win in his final game as well. So it came right down to the wire at the very end. You had Thomas HD in third, Kami in fourth, you had Benwise in fifth, Tayson again always up on the leaderboard in sixth, Pablo Wingu, and then Tosi Alpha, I believe, two. So you had Noah Riley. There was a lot of really high placing players, and again, it was a fun tournament to watch. If we look over at NA East, we had a similar story of really big names. We actually had Fatch take out the first place, who I think is on a massive come up right now. If you guys don't know who Fatch is, he's a French-Canadian pro. He actually plays with Pam Stu, who I interviewed recently and was talking about being one of the most underrated up-and-coming pros. So looking like that whole trio is looking fantastic right now. You also had Miro coming in second, Ages in third, Illist in fourth, Justice in fifth, TK in sixth, Rhythm in seventh, Flu in eighth, Aviv in ninth, and Visuals in 10th. So at the same time, as much as I'm talking about, you know, how annoying this parasite is, it was still a lot of really good players who qualified in top 10. It wasn't just complete randoms abusing them. And for that reason, maybe you guys could try to argue that if used by the right players, it increases the skill gap. I still think they're way too broken, but like anything, I don't pretend like I know everything in the world. Even with this one, I like the idea of some kind of a buff, you know, that you lose health to gain, but I just think the balancing is way too off with it right now. If you have any ways you think you could balance it, let me know in the comment section down below. And I know I haven't been showing too much love to West recently. I've been trying to condense my videos and really focus on EU and NA East, because that's what you guys seem to mostly care about. But I had to give a shout out to my boy Reek, because right now he is absolutely popping off. He's won in most recent tournaments. He's won the Asia Solo Cash Cup. Ridiculous. He won the Booga Cup. He won 2 West Solo Cash Cups now as well. I think he's won 4 of the last 5 solo events he's taken place in, potentially actually maybe winning all 4 of them. He is on an absolute dominant tear right now, and I'm so happy for him. I don't normally include a lot of stuff from my viewing parties in my videos, but a lot of you guys do know that I do viewing parties on Twitch, and as I've grown my viewing parties, nothing makes me happier than finding someone who's super underrated, super wholesome, and just making their day. Today, we managed to do that for a player called Josh FN7. If you want to check him out, I'll put his Twitter and Twitch down below. Please check him out. This has to be one of the nicest and insane players I've ever watched today. I found him on Twitch while watching the EU Cash Cup. Unfortunately, watched him in the final game. He got headshot sniped. He seemed a little bit upset. He seemed a bit disappointed, but he was such a nice guy while I was watching him. I knew when he was streaming the Nicest Cash Cup, I had to give him a watch. We watched him twice, and both times he was more committed to clutching up for the prediction in my chat for channel points than he was his own game. Because of this, I decided to shout out his channel as much as I could. I ended up getting him to 800 viewers somehow. I don't know. Again, the fact that you guys have put me in this position makes me so happy, but I wanted to share this response to you after the final game where he clutched up the prediction and got pretty much a whole bunch of my viewers going in, even getting him to a level 5 hype train, because I feel like watching this kind of stuff is what Fortnite's all about, and if you're having a rough day, I know it's going to make you feel so much better.
Oh, I'm sorry, chat. Wait, time. Five. We did it. Let's go. There you go. Aussie's chat, I did it for you again. Let's go.
What's his Twitch? I'll put it in chat for you.
No way, he's putting the link out again.
Josh FN7.
No.
These you guys are spamming pretty hard, so I might get scrolled down. Here you go.
Oh my god. Yo. I actually love him so much, bro. Oh my god. What? Oh, East with a prime. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm actually shaking, boys. I'm scared. I can't be too loud. Thank you for the prime again. Bloody hell. I can't be loud right now. Out of the doubters, let's go.
I just want to include that because I had Josh swing back into my chat later to just thank me profusely and say that content creation has been his dream for such a long time. So again, if you'd like to check him out, please do. Links in the description down below, and doing this kind of stuff is the main reason why I love to have the platform I now do. Now, I know I mostly talk about Fortnite on my channel, but way back in the day, or not way back in the day, a few months ago, I was talking about Apex as well when the new season came out, and a lot of people were getting very miserable with Fortnite with the last season, and I recommended it as maybe a good game for a lot of you guys to jump on to have a bunch of fun. And you've probably noticed that Apex recently in the last week or so has had a massive explosion in popularity, and I want to talk about what that means for Fortnite and more importantly, what it means for Warzone. So I've actually got Sully Gnome stats here where I can check all the stats right now across Twitch, across the board. And man, Apex is doing phenomenally. Everything is up. The hours watched is up 33% from this week compared to last week. A 33% jump in viewership across the board is ridiculous. Games don't normally see that, at least not really established games. And I know what you might be thinking though, what does this mean for Fortnite? It's getting way more viewership. I wanted to shed some light on that because I think a lot of people, when they look at primetime viewership, it gets kind of oversaturated a lot, because when the big content creators are playing a game, it really boosts it up. Right now in Apex Legends, you have Nick Mercs, Tim the Tatman, and XQC. Between the three of them, they make up an average of 150,000 viewership normally. That's more than Fortnite gets as an entire category almost any time of the day, except for tournaments. If you look at Fortnite, you have an average viewership of 114,000 viewers. So when you have 150,000 just on three massive content creators, that's really going to boost things up. But I don't want to take it away from Apex right now. I think Apex is doing fantastic things. I think right now, in my opinion, it is the second best battle royale in my eyes behind Fortnite. I still love Fortnite. Fortnite will always be my jam because of building. It just adds such a good element to the game, but there's a lot of things that are making Fortnite really hard, especially for other content creators. I talked recently about the whole issue with hackers and DDoSing on Apex, and already the devs have got that very well under control. You still see it a little bit, but nowhere near as badly as before. But the main thing a lot of pros are loving switching to Apex for is the stream snipers. You guys have probably noticed Nick Mercs has tried to come back to Fortnite a few times. Ninja's tried to come back a few times. They have to run 1, 2, 3 minute delays, and sometimes they're still getting stream sniped. So as much as these big creators are on other games really helping boost those games, it shows how important those bigger content creators can be to a title, and how big it would be if we could somehow bring them back to Fortnite. Because right now you have on Apex Legends huge content creators like NRG's Asu, NRG Lulu Lovely. You've got TSM's Imperial Hal doing ranked game modes. Those guys can pull upwards of 10, 20, 30,000 viewers just playing ranked and doing normal stuff all day. Those are kind of like your tournament streamers on Fortnite. What Fortnite is missing right now is those really big content creators just playing the game for fun. When's the last time you saw someone on Fortnite pulling 40, 50,000 viewers just playing pubs or playing arena that wasn't Nick Mercs? No one can do it anymore because the stream snipers are so bad. The only thing that you see on Fortnite right now is either tournaments, maybe some people playing arena, but 90% of them are pros because that's the only way they can survive, or they're in creative because, again, even sometimes the pros can't get past the stream snipers. So I'm not going to make this a whole negative video where I go into talking about stream sniping and all this, and I don't think that's the only factor for why content creators aren't playing Fortnite. I think it's also a lot to do with the skill gap just getting so high on Fortnite that it's really hard to keep up and enjoy it unless you're really good at the game. But Apex has a really high skill gap as well, and you can get absolutely punished on the game over and over again, but it still has a lot more casual content creators playing it. Just compare the stats right now from Apex Legends this week to Fortnite, and Fortnite is still holding up pretty well, but Apex is obviously massively on the rise. But Call of Duty is down astronomically right now. They are seriously struggling as a lot of the people from Warzone go to Apex. Some people are going from Fortnite to Apex, but not as many people. This is obviously also due to the drama that Blizzard and Activision has been facing with a lot of sexual harassment allegations. I'm not going to go into all that. That is just not my domain. You guys know I avoid topics like that. I avoid the drama. It is a topic that needs to be addressed, and I think a lot of people out there are addressing it. If you want to do some research, I'm sure you can find plenty of videos and information, but I'm just not going to be talking about that today. But couple that with the fact that Warzone has not addressed their hacking issues like Apex did, so many people are just giving up on the game. There's been a lot of balance issues and a lot of issues in Warzone for the longest time, but hackers have just completely ruined that game, and people are leaving it in droves for Apex. And right now, with a new season of Apex launching, I think 2 days ago, with a brand new legend, it is absolutely popping off right now. I, for example, am going to spend the next few days playing a bit of Apex, having some fun because we've got no tournaments. I'll be watching the event and I might play some arena here and there, but I'm really excited to try some variety. If you want to see whether Apex is right for you or you want to check it out, watch my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. I should be playing a whole bunch. Also, last thing I wanted to talk about was, I guessed it, I picked it right. BBG did not disband. It was just a bit of an impression farm. It was a bit of a publicity stunt from the members. All of the members re-signed to BBG exactly like I predicted, except for Bucky. And a lot of you guys on Twitter were like, oh, what about Bucky? You got that wrong. No, I didn't. I said there was a very good chance Bucky would not re-sign to BBG because his camping trip might not turn out to be camping after all. Again, we're gonna have to see. It's just another piece of evidence that makes it so much more likely right now, but I'm still waiting because you never know. I don't have any real evidence. I've deliberately not reached out to or asked anyone in the scene, same as I did with BBG, so I can genuinely, honestly tell you on everything. I don't know what's happening with Bucky, but man, it's looking like NRG, and that would be so big. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on anything I talked about today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.